and there and lesbians and bisexuals in hip hop. Cause not all of them are, some of them do like women, but they get freaky.
I'm saying, so 50, I'm coming for your right?
In particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Did He Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
That's why I don't be going to them puffy parties. He can hug you from the front and the back at the same time. What are you talking about? Man, look, if you into that, I'm fine with it. Each his own. I'm just saying this ain't my mother kind of party.
50 Cent has just rocked the entire industry. This time, he came with faces, names, and video evidence. Diddy, his alleged trans ex, and yes, even Busta Rhymes, are all featured prominently in the footage that 50 recently released. In the video, Busta seems to be playing the role of the mastermind behind it all. Diddy is no longer the only one being tied to these secret parties. Another major name, Busta Rhymes, has now surfaced as a host. According to sources, he was allegedly involved in behind-the-scenes conversations with Diddy, discussing young fanboys and even helping plan the events. But that's not even the most shocking part. Former trans escort Tony Newman has come forward and is naming names. And she isn't just calling out Diddy. LL Cool J is also being mentioned. The story she's telling points to deeper cover-ups within the industry, covert operations, and underground freak-off gatherings that many believed would never see the light of day. Naturally, 50 Cent couldn't stay quiet. He's now shedding light on the dark corners of the music world, corners these artists assumed would remain hidden forever. He's adding fuel to the fire with receipts, revelations, and raw footage. He's also hinting that some of it might make it into his highly anticipated Did He Do It documentary. The video itself, which appears to have been filmed at one of these infamous parties, shows Diddy, his alleged trans ex, and Busta Rhymes all together in the same space. But this wasn't just some casual gathering. The energy was different. It felt more like a staged performance than a celebration. Now, it finally makes perfect sense why 50 Cent has always said he avoids Diddy's gatherings.
I don't be going to them puffy parties. He can hug you from the front and the back at the same time. Man, look, if you into that, I'm fine with it. Each his own. I'm just saying this ain't my motherfucking kind of party.
For years, 50 Cent has been dropping subtle clues. He mocked Diddy's business associates, joked about the odd after-party invitations, and threw shade at what he called fruity vibes. At the time, it seemed like harmless trolling, but now those same jokes are aligning perfectly with the recent leaks. And Busta Rhymes hasn't been exempt either. 50 didn't just target Diddy, he's publicly clowned Busta on multiple occasions, even during live performances. He's poked fun at Busta's touch it, bring it persona, his tight leather outfits, and those overly muscular thirst trap posts. What once seemed like playful teasing now feels like something more intentional. With this new video coming to light, it's starting to look like 50 Cent knew the truth.
But 50 also know I'm not gonna stop. The same way he not gonna stop, I'm not gonna stop. We both come from a family called Violator family. So we ain't got no problem violate.
At the time, people brushed off Busta Rhymes' attempts to clap back at 50 Cent, thinking it was all just harmless banter between two entertainers. But now, things are being seen in a very different light. Busta's bold statement that he would come for 50's ass is being revisited, this time with a much more serious tone. And just when it couldn't get any more intense, enter Tony Newman.
Just announced about two people who me and my female escort friend, Mistress Carmen, saw as a team. I work with the female, I'm Asian.
Tony Newman is an activist, author, and former transgender escort who has spent years exposing the darker sides of the entertainment industry. She's been vocal about the hidden truths, claiming that some of the most powerful men in hip-hop are living double lives. According to Tony, multiple sources, including former Bad Boy staff members, have confirmed Diddy's bisexuality, alleging that he engaged in private encounters with both men and women behind the scenes. And that small revelation starts to connect the dots. If Diddy was involved in such activities and Busta Rhymes has been closely linked to him for years, then the picture becomes much clearer.
Look for Bad Boy, who now departed. Gays who were in Bad Boy, who live in Pepto. He likes women, so he would have to be my. I've heard Sean Combs is in fact my fiction.
It's also worth noting that Busta Rhymes was one of the first to publicly defend Diddy after the viral footage surfaced of him putting his hands on Cassie. Busta urged people not to rush to judgment, standing by Diddy at a time when many were turning away.
It's extremely sensitive, and I think that people don't keep in mind the effect of what their opinion can have. And I think it's really, really important that we reserve our opinions until we understand what the undisputed truth is, because an opinion can detrimentally affect someone.
But now, Busta's public support for Diddy takes on a very different tone. What once looked like loyalty now raises deeper questions. And Tony Newman didn't stop at Diddy. She also revealed a one-night encounter with LL Cool J during her time working the streets of New York City. According to Tony, LL paid for the night, fully aware of her identity and orientation. There was no confusion, no shame, just a mutual understanding. However, when she began speaking about it publicly, LL's team reportedly went into damage control. Tony claims they threatened legal action and sent cease and desist letters demanding that she never mention his name again.
I sent another cease and desist letter second time, Mark Singer, on behalf of LL Cool J, to my whole team again after I did the New York interview.
And it only gets messier from here. According to Tony, both Busta Rhymes and Diddy used the same strategy when she began sharing her personal experiences. They tried to silence her. She claims that as soon as she started speaking out about what she had seen and lived through, both men made efforts to shut her down. This industry doesn't just protect secrets, it buries them. Tony also alleges that Diddy went as far as bribing hotel staff with $50,000 to hide the surveillance footage from the Cassie incident when it first surfaced. And if they were willing to pay that much to cover up one video, just imagine what else they've made disappear over the years. She even mentioned that Biggie Smalls had a close friend who was openly queer, but whose identity was never revealed, protected and hidden, just like everything else in this twisted web of silence.
I don't think his entourage of Biggie Smalls had a gay guy. Mr. C is evidently a bisexual producer. Lord knows who else he might have had in that entourage.
All of this takes on an even deeper meaning when you recall Nicki Minaj's statement about the industry being full of covert brothers. She wasn't talking about men hiding drug deals or street ties. She was implying that many in the business are secretly attracted to other men and are working hard to keep it hidden.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercovers. Oh no.
Now let's circle back to these infamous gatherings. According to multiple rumors, Busta Rhymes wasn't just a regular guest. He was allegedly sponsoring these parties. And not just occasionally, but frequently. Several sources, including people with direct connections to those elite circles, have claimed that Busta brought in a very specific type of crowd. And no, it wasn't Instagram models or bottle service girls. The individuals being brought in were young males. One person who openly spoke about this is Big Homie Double C, someone who's seen it all and once had ties to high-level industry security circles. He didn't hold back. He claimed that Busta often made unusual requests at clubs, requests that stood out. According to him, Busta would specifically ask for young males to be escorted into his VIP section. And it wasn't for drinks or dancing.
That's my thing, but like this been common knowledge though. Like all my promoter homies would always say, man, we gotta bring some. We gotta bring some. What they call them? I'm not gonna say it on there. They call them fun boys. They'll say we gotta have some fun boys in the section.
Suddenly, the claims that Busta Rhymes and Diddy were sharing fanboys begin to make a lot more sense. These young men weren't just casual party guests. They were reportedly handpicked, packaged like party favors, and passed around like gifts. And that brings us to someone whose name has been steeped in controversy for years, Orlando Brown. Now let's slow things down for a moment. Yes, Orlando Brown has made a number of wild, chaotic, and often outrageous claims over the years. Some messy, some unbelievable. His behavior has raised eyebrows, and many have dismissed him outright. But one thing that can't be denied is that more often than not, he's matched the energy of the environments he speaks about. And here's the kicker. Long before these new revelations surfaced, Orlando Brown publicly claimed that he had slept with Busta Rhymes.
We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you see Busta in the airport too.
At the time, people brushed off Orlando Brown's claims. Most assumed he was spiraling again or just chasing clout. But now, he's not sounding so far-fetched. With escorts coming forward, tapes surfacing, and big names being exposed left and right, Orlando's words are starting to make a lot more sense. And this is what people are beginning to believe. Orlando may have been one of the fanboys allegedly invited by Diddy to these private gatherings. According to the growing rumors, he wasn't just there for one night. He's implied over the years that he was passed around, pimped out, and subjected to all kinds of unethical dealings within the industry. If that's true, it paints a deeply disturbing picture. What makes this even more intriguing is Busta Rhymes' long history of aggressively shutting down conversations about sexuality, especially anything involving the LGBTQ+ community. For someone allegedly involved in these hidden activities, his public reactions tell a different story. Let's rewind to 2006. At a bar, Busta was accused of using a homophobic slur toward a male fan. Just a year later, in 2007, he walked out of a radio interview the moment the topic of homophobia in hip-hop was brought up. He didn't debate, he didn't disagree, he just got up and left. Even back then, people found his reaction strange and overly intense. Now, with everything coming to light, those moments are being viewed in a completely different context. What once seemed like discomfort now looks a lot more like defensiveness, especially when there's a mountain of testimony, leaked footage, and first-hand accounts piling up. And it doesn't stop there. In fact, things might be even deeper than anyone imagined. For some time now, there have been persistent rumors that footage from Diddy's infamous parties has been circulating, quietly offered for sale on the dark web. These alleged tapes are said to feature highly compromising situations involving major celebrities and powerful industry figures. And guess who's rumored to have gotten his hands on a copy? 50 Cent. According to insiders, 50 may have obtained some of these tapes and is holding on to them. Not to leak impulsively, but for something far more calculated. Something strategic. Remember, 50 Cent is currently producing a full-length documentary titled Diddy Do It, which aims to fully expose Diddy and the web of secrets surrounding him. Netflix has reportedly purchased the rights to the project, and insiders say the release is timed to drop immediately after Diddy's ongoing trial comes to an end.
In particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Another video from one of Diddy's star-studded parties is also starting to circulate. This time, it's clear, crystal clear. You can actually see the faces of the people in attendance. No shadows, no disguises, just raw footage of who was really there. If those recordings really are part of 50 Cent's documentary, or if they serve as evidence, it would explain why some people have suddenly gone silent, while others are scrambling behind the scenes. Speaking of footage, let's talk about the clip that just went viral. In the video, Diddy, Coi Leray, and Busta Rhymes are all in the same room. At first, it looked like just another laid-back industry dinner. But then, fans noticed something strange. Busta was standing behind Coi, and Diddy was grinning just a little too hard. Then Busta gave Diddy a shoulder tap, as if giving him the green light. The body language, the timing, even the way Busta subtly pushed Diddy toward her, it all felt off. Suddenly, people started talking. Some fans claimed it looked eerily similar to what insiders described, Busta passing off fanboys to Diddy in the club. But this time, it looked like he was trying to do the same with Coi. Unfortunately, that's not the only clip making rounds. Another video involving Busta and Jeremy keeps resurfacing. In it, Busta tries to act playful, but Jeremy's discomfort is obvious. At one point, Busta leans in and actually sniffs him. Jeremy awkwardly tries to laugh it off, but the tension is undeniable. Some supporters say Busta was just being goofy, but in the context of everything else that's coming to light, it no longer feels harmless. It feels calculated. And now, with Diddy's legal troubles dominating headlines, guess who's gone completely silent? Busta Rhymes. Not a word. No social media activity, no interviews, no statements, nothing. According to insiders, Busta is doing everything he can to avoid attention, reportedly terrified of being subpoenaed. He's staying out of the spotlight, hoping his name doesn't come up in court. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is treating the trial like a primetime series. From his wild AI-generated memes of Diddy on the witness stand to people showing up in free puffy shirts, 50 isn't letting up. He's still teasing the release of his Diddy Do It documentary, making it clear this is far from over. So now, all we can do is wait. Wait to see how this unfolds. Wait to see who else gets named. And most importantly, wait to see how many more recordings are out there that the public hasn't seen yet. But I want to know your thoughts. Is the relationship between Diddy and Busta Rhymes more complicated than they're letting on? Are there still more videos involving them that haven't surfaced? And who do you think 50 Cent will expose next in his documentary? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And while you're here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.